Hey, welcome back to another Wednesday. I had a blast with you guys Saturday, but I did realize, sadly, I think I'm out of shape, so I may have to go running soon. But anyways, let's start out. I just want to read one verse, Mark 8:34, and it is, "In calling the crowd to him with his disciples, he said to them, 'If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's will save it.'" Today we're going to talk about comfort and comforting. And for us teens, we love to stay in our comfort zone pretty well, for the most part. We like to stay with our own friends. We like to stay at the same school, do the same stuff over and over and over again, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that until a certain point. And I mean, it's not that us being in our comfort zone is just, hey, I just want to do this because, it's just best for me. And I feel like this is always what I want to do. But I mean, it could also be that you may just be kind of lazy. You may just be, you just don't want to get stressed out. You just don't want to try something new, which there comes a point where there is something wrong with that. So today we're just going to be talking about 1 Samuel 17 through 25. I know that we did 17 through 19 a couple weeks ago, but I just wanted to add it on to this section just so you get a little bit more of the background and kind of a visual idea of what I'm going to be talking about today. So can you guys just read 17 through 25, 1 Samuel, and I'll get back to you in just a minute. Welcome back. Thank you for reading 1 Samuel 17 through 25, and I'm going to steal one of Brad's words real quick. If you haven't read it, go do it, because I know some of you haven't. I think it's somewhere around those lines that he says that. But anyway, so verse 17, just a little background again. So Jesse is sending out his youngest son David to go to the army where the Israelites and Philistines are just shouting at each other, insulting each other, which is kind of useless, I mean, bottom line, it just comes down to whoever stabs the other person wins. But so he goes out, he has 10 loaves of bread, and he has ephah, and ephah can feed about 10 men each day. So I'm gonna guess that's including breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's a lot of food, and he's running back and forth from his home to the camp. And as we go into verse 18, we see that David's also carrying food to the captain of the camp and to everyone else as well. It's not just his brothers. And the point is, behind all that is, during wartime, their government, their king, whoever's in charge, they don't usually pay for the soldiers' meals, which that is a big issue, because if you don't feed your dudes, then the issue is they're gonna be hungry, they're gonna be starving, and eventually they'll die because they don't have food. And I know you guys, just like me, because I wasn't a teen just long ago, I actually just turned 20 a little bit ago, we like to eat. We love to eat, and I guarantee these men love to eat because hot summer day. So as we go into verse 19, which is the final verse from, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, we just see that David is with everyone else, and he just first started hearing the Israelites and Philistines just insulting each other, just attacking each other verbally. And so now we go into verse 20. And I just want to start off with reading verse 20 to you guys, which is, "And David rose up early in the morning." I just want to stop right there, because there's honestly, when you think about it, it's like, why would they add David woke up early in the morning? Like, why? And I think the reason behind this is, there might be more than one reason, but this is just how I read it. David waking up in the morning is one of the commands of following Jesse, because Jesse is his father and he wants him to go out and give him food. But David decided to wake up in the morning so he could get to the camp sooner so he can feed all the men. David didn't have to do that. David could just be like, oh, I'm gonna stay in bed. I'm gonna wait till about 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Probably like a lot of you guys right now, especially during quarantine season. And it's just like, I don't have nothing to do in the morning, so why not just wait to go to bed till like 4 in the morning and then wake up 3 p.m. the next day. So I I just thought that was very cool how they added that in the Bible. I thought that was really interesting. And I'm just gonna continue on. So David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with the keeper, because he's a shepherd, and took and went as Jesse had commanded him, and he came to the trench as the host was going forward to the fight and shouted for the battle. So he's all the way out there with the whole crew, just like as it said in verse 19, and they're all just insulting each other for no reason. So we see in verse 21 through 22, we see that, like I said, both armies are coming out, and David, first time he sees Goliath. Every time Goliath comes out, usually we will see the Israelites run in fear, because all the Israelites, they're a bunch of pansies, and they're like, I don't want to fight Goliath. I'm pretty scared of him. And David, first time he sees him, just hears him insult his God, and all the people he sees, everybody running away. And he's like, what the heck is going on? Are you guys afraid of him? You guys all have like your armor on, you guys have your shield, you guys have your sword, you guys have God on your side. You guys are just running away in fear. I'm so confused on what's going on. And with this, David also is with his brothers, and he's lived with them. And he sees his brothers leaving too. He sees them fleeing as well, because they are part of the whole Israelite army, which I found very interesting, that the youngest son is the only one staying. We see verse 23, as David is talking to his brothers in the army, when he just hears Goliath insulting him, all the way to verse 24 and 25, which is our final two verses. We just see that after David hears about Goliath screaming, and once he's like done, he goes back to his little camp after insulting. David just asked a question, which is very, very strange for that short of a guy to ask this question. He's like, so what happens if I kill this dude? What happens if I kill Goliath? What do I get? And everybody was saying, man, you get riches, you get the king's daughter, you get fame, you get glory, you get all this stuff. And if I was in David's shoes right there, I'd just stand there and be like, you know you have God on your side, so you know you're gonna win. And God is literally he has like an open hand for you guys, like, hey, you want some gold? Just all you gotta do is go out there and kill him real quick. But no one wants to do that. And I just think that's very, very interesting, because I mean, they're all scared. They're all staying in their little comfort zone. They're like, yeah, I'll go out for the army, but I don't want to go out and fight. Which, that's kind of hypocritical, kind of. It's like, I'll go fight, but not really. So we just see David, he is leaving his comfort zone. He is not being like all the other Israelites. He is following what God wants him to do. And because of him doing that, as you read on further down the line, we see that David does kill Goliath. And just as we are staying in our comfort zone, we set up our own boundaries, and we may not even realize that. The Israelites, they probably didn't really realize that, because they just follow what everyone else was doing. Oh man, he's running to his tent, I want to run to my tent. Probably get some shade, nice cool day, you know you won't die today, and all this stuff, which there's a lot wrong with that. After a while of staying in your comfort zone, you have zero motivation to get out of your zone. And I think this is a very important phrase right here. You cannot be motivated to get out of your comfort zone. But once you leave your comfort zone, you get motivated to stay out of your comfort zone. I'll say that again, because I think I may have confused some of you guys. You cannot be motivated to get out of your comfort zone. Once you leave your comfort zone, you get motivated to stay out of the comfort zone. And that's just how it works. And I mean, for me, for an example, I didn't really want to wrestle in high school. I didn't. After middle school, I was like, no, this is just kind of weird. I don't like wrestling with other sweaty guys. I just don't like that. And once I started wrestling, I think it was my freshman year, sophomore year, I'm just like, man, this is fun. I want to keep on doing this. And I'm like, I can't wait for next year. I can't wait to go wrestle another guy, pin him, and all this stuff. And I mean, that's just a small little example, but these small examples could mean a lot to everyone else. such as for you guys, man, I just don't want to leave my house. I just don't want to go get a job, which is a huge deal. And I mean, in today's society, people are getting stimulus checks, people are getting big bonuses, people are getting unemployment pay. And I'm not counting the parents. I'm not saying anything wrong with the parents, because parents have, honestly, I can't even imagine different issues parents are having, because the only bills I really pay is just college bills, which I know those are terrible, so I can't even imagine what parents are doing. But I'm sticking on mostly just the teenagers in this class. I have seen with my own eyes, not counting this class, what I've seen outside of church, just kids staying at home. They have the greatest excuse any teenager could ever get, which is, I don't want to go outside because I don't want to die. The biggest fear is death, which I understand that. But some people they're stopped living because they're afraid of dying, which is an issue. That is a huge issue. Teenagers need to go out. They need to go be with their friends. They need to go play their sports if sports are open. They need to find a job. You guys all need to go out and do things. You guys can't stay in your homes every day. You can't do that. It is not good for you. That will set up so many boundaries in your life. In the future, whenever something doesn't go your way, I already know what's gonna happen, because I've been in that kind of situation before, not staying at home, but in other situations. When you don't get your way, you're gonna start blaming it on other people. When you know deep down inside, you know it's your fault because you didn't get out of your house, you didn't go do this, you didn't go do that. You're losing so many opportunities. And I understand there are medical conditions for some people. I understand maybe families may have some certain medical conditions, but there are also ways to prevent that kind of stuff. There are many ways. I don't even have to really list them all, because you see them on commercials, you see it on television all the time, and it probably gets annoying after a while just hearing them all. But I'm just gonna give you biblical examples of just how people may have gotten killed. People may have been seriously hurt, seriously sick, and they still just stayed faithful to God. They still left their comfort zone, such as David, for example. David didn't have to go fight Goliath. He could have gotten killed. But instead, he was following God. He was staying faithful. He left his comfort zone, left his sheep where he could have just stayed there and watched his sheep, to go out into the army. He didn't even have to say, hey, I'll go fight Goliath. He didn't have to do that. Another example, God, he didn't worry about Job staying unfaithful. He didn't worry about Job being like, why are you doing this to me, God? This isn't fair. This isn't fair at all. I've done nothing wrong to you. Whenever God allows the devil to attack Job. And if you haven't read that story at all, you guys need to read it. It is in the book of Job. But just a little background on it. Job is rich. Job has a wife, beautiful kids, a lot of money, some friends, and he has a really, really big house. The devil is allowed to go into Job's life, gets rid of his kids, gets rid of his wife. The only thing he really has left is his friends. Even with Job being extremely, extremely sick, he is still staying faithful to God. God did not worry about that at all. Another example, Moses. Moses stayed in his comfort zone for a while. He did. Luckily, he got out of it. The reason why he was in his comfort zone was he was scared that the Egyptians would kill him. But he knew that God wanted him to do is to go out and free the slaves. He knew he had a terrible way of speaking to people. He had, I believe it was just issues with just communications in general. And he's like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. I mean, these people can probably barely understand what I'm saying. And God gave him a way of solving that issue. All three of these people, they left their comfort zone. Many other people left their comfort zone. Saul turned into Paul. That is a huge comfort zone change, huge change. And in all these people, they turned out really, really great. Job, in the end, he got a new wife, kids. He had more riches after than before all that stuff happened. he was rewarded greatly. And I'm not saying for you guys to just disregard your parents in any way at all. I'm not saying that I want you guys to be a rebel. I'm just saying that if you guys have the chance to leave your house, to go play a sport, go be with your friends, go get a job, go do literally anything, like go visit your grandma and just help her out around the house or something like that. You guys should go do it. You guys shouldn't be staying at home and using that perfect excuse, because you'll regret it in the future. You really will. You guys are very, very young right now. And when you guys get older, not like me, but like Brad, because he's ancient, when you guys get older, you guys won't be able to do most of this stuff anymore, and you guys are gonna regret it. Thank you for watching this. I honestly really appreciate seeing all you guys last Saturday. It was a blast. And I really hope you guys signed up for Beyond Borders, or else I'm gonna be really sad if you guys didn't yet. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys maybe next week, or it might be the week after. Next week, we may have something special for camp. All right, see you guys then.